Ciao, let me tell you a story on how I had the idea of the membership and everything you've seen before, you've heard before. It was 2 years ago. It seems much more for everything happened, but it was just 2 years ago. It was early October, and I was in Rimini attending the TTG. TTG is an international fair, travel fair that is held in Italy. It's very important. I'm sure you know it. In Italy, there are two fairs on the travel sector that are the main ones, the biggest ones. One is held in February in Milano, the BIT, and the other one is held in Rimini. It takes place in Rimini in early October, the TTG. So I was at the TTG in Rimini and 2 years ago, and finally I had an appointment out of the fair with Anne. Anne was at that time the director of the product and operations of a US tour operator, middle-sized, well-established, specialized in Italy. And we were writing to each other since months for business, and then finally we met. We met in Rimini. We had a dinner at a restaurant that I knew and I reserved, not a tourist restaurant. And then we had a long walk along the sea, the seaside. It was very nice. What really surprised me it was the fact that she was happy to skip the programs that the organization of the fair has organized for her and for all the international buyers. She was very stressed. She said, okay, all day we have a 9 to 5 session of appointment with many suppliers, that it's great. You feel the energy, and you meet new people and new potential suppliers, hotels that you can use. But the list is very heavy, and she felt overwhelmed by all this, let me say, myriad of informations, possibilities, and suggestions. By the way, she said that every night they had an appointment. There was a bus waiting for them outside the hotel. I saw this, and she was quite perplexed because the night before, the program was a burlesque show, which is not typical Italian. So I just wonder why they just decided to do this. Anyway, she was happy to skip the program, and we had a very informal and nice talk. After that, and when the fair was over, she participated to a fam trip to Le Marche, which is a region nearby Rimini. And I follow her on the social media. She had great fun with the other group of international buyers. But again, they were overwhelmed by so many small activities, events, that I'm not sure that in the end they really catch the essence of that region. So then she came back, and we just follow up after the fair too. But the day after the dinner, I was driving home by car, and I had this idea. I felt that there was a lack. There was a lack in the way the international travel planners learn about Italy, because it cannot be only this. It cannot be only a list of suppliers to meet, which is great in it, of course. It cannot only be just taking a tour very quickly around, seeing activities, Instagrammable moments, which is also great. But I think that the true connoisseurs of Italy, the true Italian experts, needed a continuous education. on Italy, and that's why I had the idea of starting a business in training and education about Italy. I started with some courses, registered courses, and it was great because I had sales also during the first months of the pandemic, and then you know what happened, and of course everything was frozen, and also I've been frozen too. In these 2 years, a year and a half, I focused on Italy. It's like a sort of cocoon here. I cocoon myself here. I just mm, mm, had the networking and also relations with all Italians, tourist travel professional. I opened for 6 months a blog in Italian. It was absolutely the first time for me. I always, it's now 10 years that I work with foreign travel professionals. And now, so I focused on Italy with the staycations in my regions, and I wrote about this. And now I think it's the moment to realize this project in a new way, and the form is the membership, as I wrote in the previous emails, the membership Esperta Italia. I will tell you about more deeply next, but I just want to start from that episode because I have very well in my mind that moment very clear, and I think that the motivation is always so important, and that was my day. That was the day in which the motivation really came out, and I understood what I wanted to do.